Desert wanderer, 40 years in the sand, questioning the promise, not understanding the plan. But God was in the wilderness, holding my hand. Desert wanderer, learning to stand, when the promised land seems so far and unplanned. Desert wanderer, trusting His command. Israel wandered for 40 years because of unbelief and faithless fears. A journey that should have taken 11 days turned into decades of wandering maze. I've been there in my spiritual life, circling the same mountain, stuck in strife. Promised land in sight, but I keep tripping over the same sins. My faith is slipping, but God used the desert to teach and train. Manna every morning, provision in the pain. He led by fire at night, cloud by day. Even when I wandered, He made a way. Deuteronomy 8. He humbled them to test, to know what was in their hearts, nothing less. The wilderness wasn't punishment, it was prep for the land of milk and honey. Next step, the desert strips away the excess weight. The things I thought I needed that weren't that great. In the barrenness I learned to appreciate the small mercies that I used to underrate. Water from a rock, that's supernatural. Quail falling from the sky, that's actual. Provision in the desert, that's factual. God's faithfulness in the wilderness, impactful. They grumbled and complained, I've done the same, wondering why God called me to this game. But the desert has a purpose, it's not shame, it's preparation for the promised claim. Jesus was in the desert 40 days, tempted by the devil in various ways. But He stood on the word, didn't compromise, showed us how to fight when the enemy tries. My desert season has purpose too, character development coming through. Patience, perseverance, faith renew. What the enemy meant for bad, God comes true for my good and His glory. Romans 8, working all things together, it's never too late to trust the process, appreciate the wait. The desert prepares me for my promised day. The wilderness is where intimacy grows, where the noise dies down and the spirit flows, where I learn to hear the voice that knows every step I take and everywhere I go. Moses met God at the burning bush, in the desert where there was no rush. The wilderness creates a holy hush, where God speaks clearly, not in a crush of distractions and demands and noise. The desert is where God gives back my poise and steadies my feet for the greater joys that come after the wilderness deploys its lessons deep into my soul. The desert wanderer is becoming whole. In the desert He provides streams, in the wilderness He bursts dreams. Nothing is wasted, or so it seems. God's math is different than what it seems. The desert isn't meant to destroy, it's meant to birth a deeper joy, a faith refined without alloy. Desert wanderer, no longer a decoy, but the real thing, authentic and true, shaped by the wilderness I've been through. Desert wanderer, finally I understand. The wilderness was training for the promised land. God was in every grain of sand. Desert wanderer, now I firmly stand, ready to cross over at His command.